Welcome home, dearest Brava baby, to Do You Believe in Brava, the interview series where I, Talia Brava, spirsonal growth leader of the next generation, meet with stars from across the spiritual personal world to try their practices, feel their vibe, and most importantly, ask them, do you believe in Brava? In Brava, in Brava, in Brava, in Brava.
I was telling Colin I have been psychically in his space for the last 3 days because I'm a stan for you. I'm a proud stan, proud obsessive compulse, and I have so many questions I can't wait to get into it.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm here and thank you for that because I have been feeling a little bit more erotically charged. So maybe your Scorpio sun has been like, bitch, like stop working and go and kiss a cute boy. Anyway.
1,000%. I'm also having a lot of sexy dreams. Let's be real. It's that time before. We're ready to come out.
Ready. No, let's let it come out. Honey, you're giving me amazing filters and everything. I'm deeply impressed. I need to step up my Instagram visual skills. You're out of control.
Darling. I think your visual skills are on point. The eyebrows alone, I think I got you to come on because I talked about your eyebrows. So we'll just start there. Great eyebrows.
Oh my God, you know what? I'm guilty as charged. And can I just tell you, I put so much brow gel on today that I don't know if I can move my face.
I love it. True East Coasters. I want to let you introduce yourself. This is Colin Bedell of Queer Cosmos. He has been a stand for inclusion in astrology for a long time. I really resonate with your work because you are a bridge builder between the worlds of social psychology, utilizing some of the more research-based stuff alongside the woo-woo shit and having that conversation. There are people in my life that don't believe in astrology. I send them your videos. They're like, oh, he's smart. I'm like, yeah.
That is the highest compliment you can give a Gemini boy, so thank you. I appreciate that so much. And what a generous introduction. Okay, I'll just say quickly, I am a Long Island boy. I am a Gemini sun, Capricorn moon, Leo rising. I have always been just interested in both secular and spiritual studies. I think at their core, we should be saying the same thing because we're advocating for the healing of the mind, body, and spirit. If we're just using different language, who gives a shit? And then we can measure exactly how it's working based on results in our life, period, right? And so it's always been my Gemini quality of as above, so below, right? Going into the spiritual realm and bringing it to the academic conversations and saying, where are we finding the common denominator and how can we make sure that this information is as accessible and free as possible?
I love everything you just said. Your words are perfect. You're channeling, my baby.
Stop it. So are you. Go ahead.
Okay, darling. So when we look at this idea, it's so funny to me, the idea of personal growth, right? Within it, I'm learning from Nada. As I explained to you, Nada, dismantler of Brava, hyper ego, is really helping me become more into unity consciousness, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
So when we think of the word personal growth, within it is already the eye roll, personal. It's go home and just care about your goop babies. So what is your experience now in this moment of really serving the collective with the spiritual personal growth?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Great question. So I have really had a whole new semantic reevaluation of the personal growth and self-help community, because I think at its core, we're not meant to do this work alone. We're meant to do it in community. Right? So I understand the value of naming personal growth quickly so people can understand, but I think you're absolutely right. If we're not understanding where we are at in connection with others, then we're not really doing the work required for us to unlearn the dominant thought system based on fear, which pervades the world, and the remembrance of the thought system based on love, which is true to our nature. And so I think what we want to remember in the personal growth crowd is that we can call a lot of different things, spiritual, astrology, metamorphosis, whatever. But if it's an exercise where it's all about you, it's not spiritual. It's just narcissism.
1,000%. And I love this thing of utilizing the personal to connect to the collective. So
yes, because we are the collective.
Yes.
The collective is us. We are the collective, right? And so I think that's perhaps why we're seeing this extraordinary moment right now in conversations related to racial equity, because I think the vast majority of the world is waking up to realize, well, if we live in a white supremacist country based on white supremacy and the institutions and the practices from all corners of American civilization, from education to property ownership to tax to mass incarceration to employment, then that means I am not free if everyone in the United States cannot fly at full wingspan.
1,000%. And even I feel this is just there's no, the greatest proof of this is like everyone was forced to go home and be by themselves, and now they have fucking empathy. You put people alone with themselves, they connect to their fucking heart, and they actually care about each other.
Oh man. Well, and isn't that really interesting that a country based on capitalism and your worth as attached to work, now we haven't been able to be so bombarded by the climate of work, rinse, repeat, go home, blah, 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 blah. And now people are waking up, many late, but better late than never, to this conversation, to the fact that, wait, so you mean this has been going on for 150 plus years and we haven't really understood the history of race in the United States? And because as a white person, I'm racially illiterate because I was never taught to think in these terms? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and our standards are fucking raising. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
we used to be like the complacency is really just like swallowing the like, this is how life is. And our fucking, we're like, this system is breaking. We can build it as it should be.
Yes. And honestly, like, as it was intended to be. I think I don't want to romanticize American history, but I also want to state the obvious insofar as this country was founded in a really enlightened principle in the fact that it believed that every single one of us were created equal. I mean, we were the only country to enshrine democratic principles in our founding document.
Yeah.
And so, like, what are we?
Aspirational, right? It's like,
yeah, right. Because 41 of the founding fathers were slave owners. So they signed a declaration that said all men are created equal, and yet they were slave owners. So that juxtaposition has been a part of our American DNA since the very beginning.
Yes.
And what would it take for us to really make those principles manifest now, and then also really take time to repair and provide a level of economic and moral justice to not only the descendants of African slaves in this country as Black people, but also the indigenous populations as well. There's so much work that needs to be done in this space.
The collective gaslighting that those who have been in the positions of fortune, like the white people and the straight people, and like just the collective denial is like a massive gaslighting that like psychologically needs to be healed.
And I think it's as Jane Elliott, the racial scholar, she has a quote on her sweater that she always writes, and she says, "Prejudice is an emotional commitment to ignorance." Yeah, and that's really, I think that's what people are doing
too, right? Because it's like all you have to do is actually see, and then you really can't not see what you've seen. It's sort of like the Matrix.
Bitch, I think you need to see. I think you need to read. I think you need to study. Right now, I'm going to get very Capricorn Moon about it. I think there's so much that we need to operationalize right now because there's a tremendous amount of listening for really crucial conversations that the United States is long overdue. And that's why anybody involved in the field of spirituality, right, will move beyond personal growth. We need to be the most articulate, the most research-based, the most historically literate people in every single room.
Literally,
because people are leading us right now for that. Go ahead.
Quote like my favorite TV show when I was a kid, but knowledge is power.
Yeah.
But it's true, right?
Yes.
So I like the idea that like right now Instagram definitely is magic, and we're all Instagram witches, like all of us witches of Instagram. If there was a curse or a blessing that you like, if you could just have one message that like when you get into your content, which yes, babies, if you're not already, freaking do it. What would you want to curse or bless this planet with through the social medias?
For all people?
Yes.
That they have inner peace. I mean, it's really just as simple as that. I just want people to feel peaceful.
All right, darling. Well, when you navigate this intensity, this swirl that we've been in, what has been helping you like find your center, your core, that peace inside yourself? Oh,
great question. Okay, well, fortunately, because I told you that I'm actually in the city of Charlotte in the state of North Carolina, where my parents and my twin sister and her family live. And what's really been helping me stay centered is just allowing myself to be supported by my family of origin. And that's been really exceptional because I live alone in New York City and I work alone, and I primarily spend the vast majority of my time alone, but through conversations like this. And so what's been really helpful is just allowing my family to support me in a range of ways, which I am so fucking grateful for. And then I would also say that it would be my spiritual routine. So it's my meditation practice, my physical exercise. I do the workbook of A Course in Miracles every single day. And that has been really grounding so that I could be as competent as possible and relationally centered as well.
Do you feel like there's been any healing that's happened with you and your family, like lineage stuff, past life stuff, past life?
It's a great question. Ooh, I think actually, yes. Okay, that's so weird you bring that up. Okay, way to go, Scorpio sun. My mother found a letter that her father wrote in the late 70s after my grandfather got a divorce from my grandmother, apologizing for the fact that he was not physically as present as he wanted to be, and crediting my grandmother for raising 4 kids by herself.
Wow.
Today.
Wow.
And my mom, just before I called you, she was in the closet bawling, because that's where she found it, literally in the closet. She was in the closet bawling because she never saw that. She
and
never...
of our shadow, which we're all doing right now, is like...
Yeah, it's and then I was like, Mom, go call all your brothers, my uncles, call your mother, and like, just go talk to them about that. Yeah, so yeah.
And that's the power of like, just saying like, and I think a lot of us suffer from that on that very personal level. So that can give us that empathy for the collective need to be recognized and like have wrongs spoken. Because I know for like half the pain in my life is like, can you just admit that that's wrong? Like, can you just say it?
Yes, and it's interesting because personally, I feel a deep sense of urgency and gravitas towards that conversation within the spiritual community around teaching our crowd, so to speak, and just like what the moral force around amends and apology actually looks like.
Yes.
Right, particularly in conversations on racial equity and reparations, and the fact that like it is a civilized thing to do, that the United States has on the record provided reparations for a historically group of people that we have wronged.
Yes.
And only up until 2008 did the Congress of the United States actually go on the record to formally apologize for their role within the transatlantic slave trade, but they haven't provided 50 cents in any level of economic restitution to their descendants. And I think that's a spiritual conversation.
Like, what are you so afraid of? You're just gonna like quake, like you're gonna like crumble and fall to like actually admit what everyone can fucking we all know.
Right, and I think it's just like that change and that transformation of like, what would this country look like if 53% of our entire budget didn't go to the military-industrial complex? And what if we actually took some of the defense budget and allocated it into economic and social reparations? Because the Course in Miracles says you create what you defend against. And so if 53% of our money is funded to defend ourselves, then we're going to have 53% of attack against us.
Yep.
Like, this is not
a single fucking person who wants war. Not a single person who wants war in my
right. Well, because peace allegedly isn't good for the economy. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, war creates jobs, war creates money, and yet we don't want to have conversations that even go like, well, we shouldn't have those conversations. What we should be doing is like, what level of economic prosperity could we have if more than 6% of our budget was going to public education? We spend more money learning how to kill other people than learning how to educate our own citizens with critical thinking skills.
And I think it's very important to keep looking up the top of the system, right? Like, the system, like whether you are a conspiracy theorist or you're an NPR lover or you're a woo-woo person who doesn't even read the fucking news, it is quite clear that like people have power together. The system desires us to be fighting each other. So to keep looking up to the fucking system rather than like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, which is like a very tempting thing to do when we're like, struggling in it.
Yes. Well, and I think that's what a lot of these Aquarian transits are encouraging us to understand, is exactly what level of power can we have within the collaborative, beloved community, rather than like looking up and having power over. Yeah. And that's actually something that Dr. Brene Brown, whose work I totally evangelize, but she said right after the Charlottesville incident, that it really was power over's last stand. Mm. And I think we're seeing that continuously to this day. Yeah.
Oof, that's very powerful. So when you look at like the astrology right now, I know it's supposed to be bonks. Bonks is bonks. Bonks worlds. The stars are just flipping out. They're like, I can't. Venus retrograde, the eclipse energy. Oh my God. Yes. When I look at the stars now. Right. The stars right now, what would you say, like with this eclipse season maybe in particular, or just like the upcoming stuff, how do you see this relating to like the collective energies, the movements that are happening? I know that's a broad question, but anything that you feel to share there? No, I think that's a great question. Well, yeah, there's so many ways we could go into this.
I think, though, what I see with Mercury retrograde in Cancer happening on Thursday until July 12th is an exploration into the emotions that are at cause and at the effect of the experiences of white supremacy.
Wow.
Right, because my colleague and dear, dear, dear friend, Jaleesa Cypress, who is a very successful astrologer, we had a whole conversation about anti-racism right when the whole experience began after the murder of George Floyd.
Yeah.
And what she reminded me of as a Cancer sun so beautifully was that nobody can take away, oh, you didn't feel that way. And I must be such like a Capricorn moon Vulcan, like I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
But she was so right. Like nobody could ever say, no, you don't feel that way. You feel this way. And so if we make the emotional curiosity, the emotional expression, the core of our conversations, then people hear you differently and they can't make you talk yourself out of that which you claim to feel.
Oof, I love that. And that's an invitation personally, and then as we listen and as we hold space for others.
Yes. And then not bring it back to, oh, I know exactly how you feel, and then inserting there, right? Just like really allowing that space to be spoken and us like actively listening and then validating and mirroring back to them. I mean, I just tried that again yesterday because like I study it all day long, but I don't know how often I apply it, right?
Yeah.
And so yesterday I did the summarizing strategy where I said, okay, wait, to a client. And I said, let me just make sure I got this right. And I summarized her 2 points and I could see somatically through her physical responses how it meant to her to see me communicate what she just said. Rather than
this is the root of it. And it seems so, I think we all want to have this huge impact, right? We want to say that word to like those of us who are desire to help each other, which I think 99% of the people in the world do desire to help each other when we interact. And so we think, oh, I have to say this brilliant thing, or I have to like smack them with some wisdom. Actually letting someone hear and feel their truth reflected.
Well, that's mirroring and validating, absolutely. And that's actually explored really beautifully in the work of Dr. Harville Hendricks and his wife, Dr. Helen LaKelly Hunt. They've created an entire curriculum called Safe Conversations, which even that is a language, like just safe conversations. And how we can, I know, like, or the Gemini in me just like lights up over it, and how we can increase safety and trust between speakers and listeners.
I love it. Are they the ones who work with couples?
Yes, the Imago Institute. Way to go. Yeah, they started out, and they are a couple, right? And so they start out there in terms of, you know, understanding what it is that they can express in their own marriage. And then they developed institutions and curriculums around it. And it's really, really, really extraordinary. It's based in Dallas, and it's extremely intersectional. It's very queer friendly. They bring up matters of race, gender, and class all the time, and in ways for us to make these conversations a little less straight, white, cisgendered.
And that's the thing too, is a lot of people's ability to connect is developed through that one-on-one monogamous love relationship. But I think the work is bringing that out, right? Mother Teresa said the problem with humanity is we make our circle of family too small. So it's like, learn to see the other in your partner and then do that with everybody.
Yes, yes. Way to go, Mother Teresa. Okay, Virgo.
Right? That's some cool shit.
She did. Nobel Peace Prize. Definitely pro-life and a little complicated in other like political things, but you know, we can't worship the perfect, right? No. But no, that's really true. And I think that's Aquarian in nature as well, honey, is that it's like, how can we make the community and the village our true love? And then we don't bring to, you know, one or two partners, just that notion of like, can you fulfill what an entire population of people technically needs to provide, which I think is a queer issue and connected through Esther Perel's work as well. But yeah, I love that she said that.
So let's talk about love, because we're on it and it's juicy and we love it. So, so speaking of love is in the air. Yay. I'm like fucking obvious. Like, can you believe it's like, oh, now you can't get fired for being gay? Like, I feel like I'm barely waving a flag for that. That seems like such like, okay, let's catch up. Let's move along.
I am so glad that like in true Scorpio sun fashion, you can make humor very morbid and just well done. I just want to give you that credit. Scorpios really do make me laugh in that way. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, right. I think really the population that needed the most were trans people. Absolutely and definitely. And I think this is the beginning of just so much more legal protections that they need. And I just am, I can't even believe that it was something to celebrate. I absolutely cannot. But yeah, love, it seems that equality and justice is in the air.
Yes.
And I think it is definitely a little victory for sure.
Yes.
And I think it can operationalize us into moving towards also just like basic care and ensuring the needs and the safety of trans women, trans Black women particularly, who have a higher risk of murder than any other population within the trans community.
Yeah.
And I think having legal protections there sets a precedent typically for us to make sure that we can do the rest of the work required of us today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just like an affirmation that like the people pressure fucking works, booze, and like the system doesn't want us to realize it, but it fucking does.
It fucking does. And it usually leads it through riots. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, I love. But so speaking of love in this Aquarian age that we're walking into, me, Talia, Brava, I used to be like obsessive compulsive. Like if I had a coffee with someone, I would like cry afterwards because I like want them to like stay in repose of like adoring me forever. Like as if like every man I meet would just become a statue to like love me.
Yes.
And now I'm like, oh, that's insane. And I've actually been like rejected and been like fine with it. And I'm like, it's okay. Like I feel this evolution that's happened. Nada's come in. Do you feel on a collective level we're evolving our idea of romantic love?
Oh, okay. That is a great question. I do. And I think that's been documented pretty well. But I actually think that that has a lot to do with what we're seeing in the workforce as well. Because Ava Eluf, she's a sociologist out of Tel Aviv, I believe, is where she's primarily based. But what she has discussed is this notion of emotional capitalism and how we bring to our workforce an emotional lexicon of like trust, accountability, belonging, safety, and intimacy.
Yeah.
And then we bring the capitalistic language around bargaining, exchange, models of production. I'm not getting a return on my investment. This isn't what I bargained for, to the romantic sector.
Oh, that's so real.
Right? And so I think if we talk about the revolution romantically, it's really, really connected to the professional landscape as well. Because if you think about it, 30, 40 years ago, it would have been considered outlandish if you had more than 3 or 4 partners, right? Nowadays, it's outlandish if you don't.
Yeah.
30, 40 years ago, it would have been considered outlandish if you left and have a little bit more of like polyamorous relationships with your work spaces.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you're like looked upon, it's like, wow, you've worked there for 3 years. Don't you want to go someplace else?
Yeah.
So I think there's been a real revolution in both the professional and the romantic world, but they're deeply connected to the same sector around, and it's also around an identity-based economy, in the sense that like we go to romantic relationships to provide me with a service around who can I be and what can I become because I love you. We bring that same sense of willingness and desire to our workspaces as well.
This is everything, right? It's like have you read Sex at Dawn?
Do I have a what? Say that again?
Sex at Dawn is a great book, and it like unfolds how the Industrial Revolution brought in this idea of ownership, and then it's like, you're my wife, and that's my baby. And it used to be like paternity was a question, so everyone took care of everyone's baby. So it really is ownership and capitalism infiltrated into our psyche and how we...
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. So I haven't read it, but I would imagine that one of the learning outcomes was that monogamy was very much like an economic imposition placed on the women in the marriage, correct? So like, where will my cows go to when I die? Like, who inherits the land kind of thing?
Exactly, and that's my son, and I know it's my son, so I'll take care of him. Otherwise, I'm not taking care of him, because like, I want my eyebrows on him.
Always bring up my eyebrows. I cannot. I love it. Well, not mine personally, but oh my God, I love it. I know. Because I would want to make sure my eyebrows go on to my descendants. I feel so, I want to like look at what people are saying.
For any reason, it should be that.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing else, just get my eyebrows. Sorry for the unibrow. Can I just say you'll appreciate this in Scorpio fashion? I did the Ancestry DNA test thing.
Okay.
Right? Like 2 years ago. And I got this update like, ooh, you just unlocked a special assignment in Ancestry. I open it up, Talia, and it tells me you have the gene of having a unibrow. And I was like, this is what the fuck you alerted me to? I know. It was like, bitch, you have a unibrow. That's what I spent $70 on? Like,
and you know that's that fear mongering. Even the 23andMe's are on it. They're like, come back, we'll tell you how to get rid of your unibrow with your DNA tester.
I was so pissed. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I've been like threading it and waxing it my whole life, but damn, you didn't need to fucking read me like that. Like, bitch, you have a unibrow. Thanks a lot. I want my fucking money back. Thank you, Professor Ali. I love you. Go ahead. Sorry.
22 back. I want just one. No unibrow.
Right.
Okay. So actually, let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. So you had it coming out, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So I want to hear about the idea of coming out for you, what that's provided, and the many iterations of coming out you might have had, still having all that.
Good question. So I came out actually in this state, in south of the Mason-Dixon line in North Carolina in 2005. So it was still the Bush administration. It was a few weeks before Hurricane Katrina. And also we were in the throes of the Iraqi war. So just to give that as like the cultural and political backdrop. Fortunately, I have two exceptionally loving parents. When I tell you that I think of how grateful I am for them every single day, that's not a joke. Like, I really do. And when I told my mom, she was like, why the fuck didn't you tell me before we moved out of New York? I never would have brought you here, right? Because, you know, the South, they can be a little funny about anybody who's Catholic and gay, right? And from New York, oh my God. So she was like, why didn't you tell me this? And I was like, I'm sorry. But it was difficult, only because obviously I was raised on Long Island, where there was a lot of, there seemed to be at least a beautiful acceptance of it, even in 2005.
Yeah.
And then when I came here, people were still quoting the fact that in the DSM it was considered a mental illness. I was like, bitch, that was updated in the 70s. And you're going to Chapel Hill. But anyway, no, so it was a little bit complicated there. And then because I had loving parents and my twin sister came to my defense all the time, and my cousins and my brother, I was like, bitch, I wish you would fucking say something. And nobody did.
Yeah. Good for, and you know what? This is the thing. It's like, from watching a lot of Super Still Sunday and having conversations of my own, you know, extraordinary people don't come out of fucking little like Ziploc bags, like all padded up. Extraordinary people are fucking chiseled, right, by like life. So the fact that you had to have your coming out in North Carolina, South Carolina?
North Carolina.
In North Carolina, like, I think that was setting you up to do the work you do now, rather than it being a little bit easier on the East Coast.
You know, that's really interesting. It probably did. And I also think, too, what it made me appreciate, and I'm not trashing the South at all, because there's a lot that I have learned from this culture, just really like around manners and moving slowly and having a little bit of tact, right? But what it also provided, and you know, because you're from Jersey, like a juxtaposition of what I love about Long Island culture. In that, like, there is no emotional neutrality. And Professor Ali, I know you're from Long Island. I'd love it if you could tell me. I have a friend here who's from the island too. There's no emotional neutrality. There's no emotional stoicism. There's no emotional pretending or performance. It's like, bitch, feel and feel loud. And let everybody know where you're at and why. And I'm sure that's the way in New Jersey too. But in the South, no. It's like, don't reveal. You got... don't come on too strong.
I think I would like to just like fish, and I would just like fall over.
Right. Well, because I was confused. Yeah, no, well, I was confused. I was like, wait, so people don't open up or like share things if they're like having a bad day? Like, you know, Jersey, the New York metropolitan area, people just fucking tell you anything. And I think there's such beauty to that. And I really love that. I think, and that's really what it provided.
In LA too, I have to say, the preciousness of LA gets to me, and I feel like I'm constantly like using my Instagram. Like, if I'm doing any curse, it's like, fucking express yourself, get it wrong, like, get it wrong.
And I love that you said preciousness, because that's really what it is. It's extremely precious, and then it's also like, I want to prioritize calm, but I don't want to prioritize being chill. And I feel like the minute
I'm talking too fast, I'm too excited. I'm like, this is the energy of God flowing through my vessel.
Hello, let it all out, sweetie. Okay, and so that's it. And you can't do that and be fucking chill at the same time. Like, I don't know. Don't get me started. And I think, you know what? It was harder to come out as a person trained by academia and an astrologer at the same time. Isn't that bananas? Or at least that's what my experience taught me, because I know you wanted to know about that coming out.
I want to hear about that, the spiritual coming out. What was that experience for you?
So, yeah, I think that what I find is in academic and evidence-based spaces, because astrology is considered a feminine spiritual conversation, it has undertones subconsciously of anti-intellectualism.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
you can't
one could
feel and be smart at the same time.
No, you can't. And don't read your horoscope and then come at me with like that what you think is intelligent. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I find that because it was very popular within women's media spaces like Cosmo, which is where I write some of the weekly horoscopes for and whatever, I think that because of that connection, the academic elite looks down upon this conversation because it's considered too feminine and frivolous. And that's actually why I chose the school that I chose, which was Parsons School of Design, because they're celebrated across the world as like the #1 fashion school in the United States and in the world. And so they investigated something like fashion, which people often think is like really frivolous. How does that have any cultural merit? And it really allowed me to investigate astrology from a place of, if it is in popular culture, it demands research. Mm-hmm. Right? And so now, and then when I got to Parsons and I was in my master's degree program there, they were like, oh, you want to work in this field? Run with it. Talk about astrology all the time. But in undergrad and in other places, I went to Stony Brook University, which is a research institution. They kind of were like, you are absolutely out of your mind if you think this is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was only a few years ago. I feel like collectively that was the feeling. And now it's like we see everyone's got, I don't care how, like, whatever type A you are, you got a meditation app on your phone. Like, people are open now. Like,
I know.
It's a zeitgeist change. So
I think so.
There's not a crowd at the leading edge, as Abraham Hicks says, you know.
Ooh, okay. You like Abraham?
I do like Abraham.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's great. She's great. I feel like I want to read these questions. I'm sorry. I'm like, should we answer any of these?
Good. Let's see.
As we're just staring. But yeah, you're right. There's been a huge spiritual revolution happening, and like I'm totally fucking thrilled about that. P.S. Yeah. So, and I oh man, there's so much I wanted to talk about with that. But sorry, I'm just looking at what I go ahead. Yes, and people do speak from that level of truth. Absolutely. Yeah. And like, you know what? God bless. Astrology is not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. But like, don't criticize my belief system. Yeah. And it's also like, it's okay to not understand, but not to write it off. I don't understand how electricity works. I've been working with it my whole life. I turn switches on all day long. I have no idea how it's working. That's a good point. Yes, Scorpio. Ooh, I love it. Fucking tell the truth, honey. Tell it. So, okay, that is the word, truth. I want to hear, as we come more to a close here, we're like moving down back to the house. We see the cabin. We're like walking through the woods. So I want to hear, how do you locate truth in yourself with all the because I will say right now, information for me is every direction. I could go down one rabbit hole and like within 20 minutes, I think, whatever. There's a million conspiracies out there. Right. What's your place of truth in you? What do you know to be true, and how do you know to be true? Oh my God, that's a great question. Well, in order of what flashed across my mind's eye as you were talking, number one, I think that only the paradox can do justice to what truth is. Yes. Right? And so we always want to remember that as spiritual and scientific seekers, like the paradox is the symbol that allows us to reconcile with, yes, we are all one, and white supremacy is locking out a core group of a historically disadvantaged population out of that oneness. What do we do about it? Yes. Right? Yes. And so that paradox has been really helpful. But honestly, what I know to be sure, I'm going to get very Course in Miracles with you, but it's changed my life and has really given me the results that I've wanted, is that only love is real and everything else is just completely bullshit. It's an illusion. It's nonsense. Yes, the effects are as real as we ascribe our thinking of them to be, but only love is really the way out of this. And I know that to be true. I do. And I think too, what that then leads to, how is it true, is it reflected in the quality of my life experience, right? I think that when people come at me with, oh, do you really believe in this? And like, what is true? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, it's not about belief, right? Because there are people who claim to believe in a loving God. And what have they done historically? Started wars in the name of that loving God, committed genocide, inquisitions, crusades and conquering and invasions and colonization in the name of a loving God. So it's not about belief here, it's about experience. And what I can say is that when I follow the results and follow the principles based on what A Course in Miracles and Astrology purports to stand, my life works. And nobody can take that away from me. And it's in the experience and results of my life. So like, bitch, say something. Tell me I'm not fucking walking that truth. I dare you.
I love it.
You know?
So you know how Einstein, like, he said a whole bunch of shit. Mostly he was like, stop getting pictures of my nose hairs. But like, we're like, snappy, Einstein, every picture has nose hairs. He also said that, you know, the famous quote, like, you could see nothing as a miracle or everything as a miracle. When you look at your life, can you share with us one miracle that you have seen that is witness to the fact that your spiritual principles work in action for you?
Wow, that's a fucking phenomenal question. Honestly, I don't get emotional. Mercury's in Cancer. No, so the fact that I have this career is a goddamn miracle. Can I just tell you, like, I cannot believe that I have this place to put what I'm passionate about. Oh my God, I can't. But honestly, I just feel so grateful every day. I feel, because there's no reason. I mean, I was surrounded by astrologers and others, but I just, because of my family of origin and the socioeconomic class that I grew up in, I never imagined myself to be self-employed because I had no examples. There was none of that. You know, my parents didn't get to graduate from college. And so all I knew was like, you go to a trade school, you do this, you do what you can do, whatever. Yeah. And so I never even imagined that I could be in this position. And every single day, I just believe that it is a miracle. I feel an enormous sense of urgency around it, for sure, because I don't want to blow this. And I just feel beyond grateful. I am just so thankful every single day, honestly.
I feel that on every level. I am so happy. And the truth is, there's back from the personal to the collective, you standing in that, you knowing yourself, taking the time to understand who you are and what you're meant to do in the world, and just trusting that is a gift to every single person you encounter.
Oh, thank you. And that's the hardest thing, right? Because it's like, we want to see the dreams and desires expressed here on earth, right? And it's such a scary decision to make, but like, I really believed at my core, and I hope that other people can operationalize this in their lives as well. You know, we have these charts and we have these desires because we are meant to succeed at their accomplishment.
Yes, we're not crazy for our dreams. Our dreams are very specific.
No, and to that point, a Gemini woman told me, and you know what? Let's make this intersectional. She was at a workshop, a momentum workshop. Beautiful, strong, heterosexual Black woman. She said, Colin, you are not smart enough to think of your own dreams. You know what she means, right? Like, this shit didn't come from you. So guess what? Yes. Right, like, you just got to show the fuck up and be receptive and take in that information, because this shit did not fucking come from you. You're not smart enough to think of it.
I love the humility in, like, the actual boldness comes from like such a deep level of humility.
Yes.
Like, what is the next fucking step? I'm not questioning it. It's here. I'm listening to my heart. I'm following.
What's in it? And then if I'm following, can I make mistakes? Of course, mistakes are survivable. And can I take responsibility and learn? Absolutely. But all of our dreams and desires, they didn't come from us. And if we recognize that that power that's in us but not of us is guiding us through the circumstances, situations, events, and relationships that serve our highest good, then we will have that level of miraculous opportunity wherever we go, right? And also too, just the level of the miraculous that because of my career, I should say, my life feels very full. I feel like in every corner of my life, there is a fullness of love, honestly.
And that's one of the reasons you're so successful, is because your heart is fucking there. I mean, there's like I just saw like one little video that I remember of you sitting in your car and you just stopped and were like, can I just say thank you? Like, thank you. This is an amazing job. And the fact that I get to talk to you, like, so
it's bananas to me. Like, it is fucking bananas. And I do not take a second of it for granted.
Yeah, you work too.
And I feel that fullness. I honestly do. And it's just created a life where I can have a lot of freedom, personally, to move about the world. And I'm so abundantly grateful for that. And I want to make my entire life about that service. I want to make my entire life about operationalizing where we can go to advance justice, inclusion, and equity for all, because that is the richness of a spiritual dialogue. It's not about like manifesting a fucking trip to Bali. Like, more power to you. Go ahead and do that. But if you can't fucking do it because the fucking airplanes are locked and loaded because of goddamn COVID and shit, how's your spirituality working out for you so far? But if you're using it for mercy and forgiveness and compassion and tenderness and all that, then we're going to have a fucking spiritual conversation.
And why don't we look at the brainwashing programming that might have made you feel like that's what you need? So.
Right. Hello. Yeah, because of that fucking, you know, this overemphasis on using spirituality for material gain. And that's not to say we cannot have a conversation for financial freedom for multiply marginalized folks. Like, I am 1,000,000,000,000% here for that. But it's like, is that the spiritual capstone? No.
Yeah. We've got a much more beautiful, magical world that we can possibly create together than one where you're like lucky because you hoarded enough shit.
Exactly. And then is that really like, wow, so I got here and then what? You know, celebrating the people that it's with. And then to the point of like relationships, I think really that's where the spirituality, the richness of spirituality extends itself all the time, is in the quality of your relationships with others. And because that's really what it is, right? If you're aligned with spirit, if you're aligned with the God of your understanding, your relationships will reflect that. If maybe you're locking out love and locking out forgiveness and locking out compassion and locking out mercy, your relationships will reflect that too. So.
Yeah. Okay, darling, one final question. I would be remiss to not ask it. Even though I'm now channeling Nada, dismantler of hyperego Brava, this show is still called Do You Believe in Brava? And Brava is still with us. So,
yes, they are.
Question. Do you believe in Brava?
100% I do. Because you know what? You are entertaining and spiritual, fucking smart. You pay so much goddamn attention. I believe in Brava. I believe in love. I believe in magic and miracles and all of those fucking things. And like, if you're a conduit for it, yeah, you better do it.
I love it. Okay, in honor of that, I'm going to throw up our goddess bitches in the air. I keep them in a box because they're too hot to handle. They're just like sexy women all over my apartment. I'm going to throw up in the air. I'm going to pull one. And whatever I pull is for the whole community to celebrate today. All right,
I love it. Do it.
3, 2, 1. Wait, I'm going to do it again. Okay. Undying love.
Wow. Can you read it for me?
Yes. The love you have shared is eternal regardless of the situation. That's that Aquarian shit.
Wow. And you know what? This is making me think about Venus retrograde in Gemini. Yeah. 100%. Yes. Thank you for that. Undying love. I'll take it.
So how can people get obsessed with you? What should they be following? What talk should they be coming to? Give us all the plugs.
So you can follow me on queercosmos.com. And I am trying to post more content there. It's been a really wild week and just taking in a lot of information. So you can follow me there. You can purchase my books. I have 3 out currently, a little bit of astrology, Queer Cosmos, and Gemini. So if you're a Gemini, I wrote all about our zodiac sign. Right now, I'm going to have to put a pause on client readings just because the schedule has gotten a little gnarly, but I'll open it up again in the fall. And I do some monthly full moon and new moon intention setting and social justice oriented work. And that's where they can find me.
Oh, I love it. Well, now everyone understands why I'm such a stan. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh my pleasure.
Brava blessings.
Bravo, blessings to you. Thank you, everybody, for joining and watching. I hope this was clarifying for you. Bye.
Oh, bye.
I'm going to just do the head tilt.